Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sun Up on 7. They were trying to have me do this British accent. I'm going to practice in my head. But it's time for us to have our first conversation here with the chairman of Indian Creek Village, Mr. Donicio Shaw. And we're going to be hearing about the sentiments that is ongoing in the village right now with the upcoming royal visit. I don't know if it's going to be the royal visit, but the royals are going to be landing in Indian Creek. So let's get to feel what is the vibe like. And of course, how are they planning to address the situation? Mr. Donicio is joining us via Zoom. Good morning, Mr. Scholl. How are you feeling today?
Good morning, viewers. Good morning there at the studio. Thanks for having me here. First, I would like to clarify that I'm not the chairman of Indian Creek.
Okay, great. Thanks for that clarification.
I was just nominated from the village from yesterday's public meeting to address today's conversation.
Thank you for that clarification, sir. And we appreciate you taking your time for us to engage in this dialogue, which is very important because everybody is having mixed emotions about the royal visit of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. So let's get going. So yesterday the village met, and because you were completely unaware that your football field was going to be used for the arrival of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. So how did you all find out, and what was the reaction from the village when that happened?
Well, let me start off by saying I was listening to your conversation earlier, and this leads right into what we're going to speak about. For us, it really hits. Maybe for other Belizeans, maybe it's far-fetched thinking about them, colonialism. It's far-fetched, but for us, it hits right at home because we remember as we may all know, the dispute that Indian Creek has with the land is with FFI.
Yeah.
But recently we also found out that the Prince William is a patron to FFI. Then so notwithstanding what began from earlier this week, various organizer of the event has called out to the alcalde and the chairman, just giving snippets of information. What we, as the village, found out was that the problem began when the organizer called the chairman and said, "You have to chop the football field." And then the chairman said, "Well, there's people who does that, not necessarily me." And then he asked, so they mentioned to him that VIP people are coming to your village. Not saying who it is, just to say you need to chop the football field, get it cleared, it has to look good.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so they started to dig who is it, but they don't want to divulge information. Eventually, somebody said it's Prince William that's coming to your village. So that is where the first issue arises. They completely, because in our community there is processes on how any dignitary should come, especially these are we consider high profile people. We respect them, but they also have to be reciprocal in their giving of respect to the community leaders.
Right.
So that is where the issue started when they completely want to just tell the chairman alcalde, go chop the football field and get it ready for somebody who is VIP. That is where the problem began. Okay. So go ahead. You can intervene.
No, go ahead if you're going.
No, I'd love to know how exactly it started. Where they're not even giving any information as yet, but just giving commands. Because I could already see how that can spew up resent starting there. Because it's like this is again there is a level. There's a hierarchy that they have to go through. There are protocols that you have to go through. Meaning this is your land. Come and ask and explain. Make the request. Not come and tell. So I can clearly see how it starts off in this way of, okay, go chop the yard, fix the place up, that kind of thing. So carry on. And so after learning that the VIPs, which are actually Prince William that are coming, what there then happened? Because I know, like you said, well, we said also as well in the couch talk that there is that communal land issue coming about, and he's a patron to Flora and
Fauna International.
Flora and Fauna International, yes.
Yes, so I mentioned that issue with the giving the community leaders command did not sit well with the community because we have to appreciate that this is one community that's the more it's being pushed, the more state or whoever does whatever they feel like to this community, the more organized they're getting.
Okay.
So this is one thing that we're as a community, we're united in what we were doing. So when that happened, now the leaders has convened a meeting. Listen, we heard this person is coming. We don't have confirmation. We don't have, but we're sure that that is what's happening because other people has reached out to me. After that incident, the people from Foreign Affairs, I don't want to call names, but they know who they are, has then called and said, well, I'll call the chairman. We're sorry, we didn't know we had to go through you, but you can come to the event. Join us on Sunday.
What?
To us, that's a slap in the face, and to the community as well. That will not work for us.
So they offered the invitation thereafter and said they didn't know the.
Yes, yesterday in the afternoon is when they called and said, you know what, we didn't know we had to go through you, but now you're welcome to the alcalde, chairman, and two other persons can join us on the tour.
Okay. Right. So what are the sentiments right now from the village? Because we're aware that it's planned that there's going to be a protest today at 10:30. What's the objective of this protest?
Well, we've also been told that from the state, the police has called the leaders to say, don't even think about protesting because there will be high-level security. Whoever is protesting, we will immediately deal with them. So the village decide, well, if we can't even do anything on that day, then we will do something prior to that day because we need to get our message out there that this is to us is injustice. It's really on our land and our football field, and like somebody come to your home and just completely disregard whatever authority you have.
Mm-hmm.
I completely understand, Mr. Shaw, because again, they're welcoming themselves in, telling you to fix up the place, then inviting you there after the fact and telling you how to behave too as well while they're there. And so I could understand completely how the community would be outraged. I think anybody, all our viewers at home could understand clearly how anyone would feel outraged from a situation at this magnitude. My thing is wondering now when Prince William does come, who will he be meeting with? And how will that overall be? Because when you're thinking about it, if the community doesn't want you there, definitely that will be showing the atmosphere. You can clearly tell these things. So I'm wondering why there isn't other conversation to understand the situation, see where you can find a common ground. Is there anything where it seems in any kind of way that they want to talk and see how they can dialogue on how to move forward? Because their visit is right here around the corner tomorrow. Or Sunday, I believe they're coming in on Saturday, but they're supposed to visit on Sunday. So there's like about 2 days that they can be able to actually have meaningful conversations with you and all the villagers and the chairperson to find out how can we move forward. Is there anything to that magnitude?
No, there has nothing has been communicated to the community. Maybe I should not divulge it, but they're coming to visit a cacao farm.
Right.
In the village,
Mm-hmm.
which we also want to address because we welcome everybody in the village. We want to dispel where we don't. It's not to say we don't want anybody, but somebody like him, we consider high profile, a dignitary. I mean, the village leaders should be involved. At least let them know, and I'm sure the village will not have a problem with hosting somebody to that magnitude.
Okay, but how? So I completely get that there should have been some sort of conversation prior to this whole arrangement of them coming and landing in Indian Creek. I want to ask you about the tension now that the fact is that the Duke is a patron of Flora and Fauna International. How do you feel that contributes in any way to the development of the communal land situation that's going on and the overall tension within the village?
Well, one of the things that we have realized is that you being a patron of FFI, no matter who you are part of the injustices that Indian fixes. They use the access of the land, the putting of the rangers there. So if your money is paying for it, then you are also a part of the problem. So that is why the village is irate when they heard this man is coming to the village to
I can imagine.
giving what has already been transpired, and then now you're coming to our village. It's like a double slap in the face.
Most definitely. What I'm hoping for is just to have some kind of dialogue where they can be able to talk to you and see if there could even just be a meeting where you can just at least understand what's happening. Because I mean, yes, he's a VIP, but he's a person nonetheless, so you can be able to have a conversation to understand. And I think a healthy conversation to know, how can we move forward from this? Where we don't have a problem necessarily with you coming in, but the process of you coming in, the way they did it was wrong. And also just understanding, yes, you're here, but when it comes to this, you being a patron in something that we're actually very outraged about right now, what are your thoughts on it? Like, what do you have to say, and how can we share our piece as well with you? I think that should be
Yeah. Yes.
an important conversation that should be happening.
Yeah. Mr.
Well,
Schultz. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, as Maya communities, I think, especially Indian, we're open to dialogue. We have never closed that door to dialogue. We have always invited anybody who can come and address the issue. But they have never responded. We have made that call. We have written letters, and we have been just sidelined. And so that is why.
Okay.
I mean, the community can definitely come on the table if other parties come on the table. So, which includes FFI.
Right. So in that regard, Mr. Schultz, let's say that everything goes as planned and they get to Indian Creek on Sunday. How is the village planning on using this opportunity to voice your concerns or voice whatever situation or feeling is going through when it comes to the communal land claims that's going on right now with FFI? How are you going to make the best of this opportunity?
Well, as I've mentioned, the community has gotten together and decided to protest today, since we're also a people that abide by the law of police. If that's the case, then we'll see how we'll make the best use of that day. But I don't want to divulge in more information to that. It's not something that drastic or radical that we will do, but it's we still plan to see if we can get our message out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Which I
very
totally
good.
understand. And I know you don't want to give us all the nitty-gritty details, which is understandable because we don't know who to listen right now.
Right.
But
Yeah.
again, we just want to wish the best sentiments. It's a hard time. I could understand why you use the analogy, a slap in the face, double slap in the face, because the situation is something that I wish could have been avoided in a manner in which it happened. But we're hoping that there is someone listening that can be able to bring you to the table, that we can be able to not have to have anything drastic, that at 10:30 you don't even have to do your protest. But at the end of the day, we're going to see how these things unrise. And we totally understand and our
Yeah.
heartfelt,
Right.
support of what you guys are doing out there. Because
and I want to commend them for standing up and saying we are not gonna take it as how it's being served. Right? There's a protocol that needs to happen. Doesn't matter where in the hierarchy you are. This is our village, and of course there's certain ways on how things have to get done. So I commend you all for standing up for that, and also take the opportunity to they're gonna be landing there, even if it happens. If they land there, take the opportunity to voice out your concerns, because it's gonna be a great opportunity, and there's gonna be media and everything happening. So the world will be there at your disposal for you to voice your concerns. So own it.
all the
and
best with
let's
that
see how this
strategy,
happens. Yeah.
and see how we can get those voices amplified out there.
Yeah.
Thank you again for having this conversation and sharing, everything that's happening, so we can be able to have a good synopsis, and the viewers out there, because a lot of times we hear these things, but we don't know the present situation. And so thank you so much for shedding that light for us.
Yeah.
And all the best, as
Yeah.
Kevin and I have already said.
And all the best to other residents in Indian Creek. Good morning, and thank you so much for being here with us on Sun Up on 7. I just want to say that.
No problem. So with that, we go to our next commercial break. And when we are back, we're going to be talking to a local artist about her work and women in art. So stay tuned for the exciting conversation. We'll be right back.